Locals, the lifeblood of the fighting game community. Chances are your favorite player, streamer, or tournament organizer cut their teeth at their local tournament. Whether they were held in remote strip malls or in the heart of a city, locals are where the FGC of tomorrow call home. Take Next Level, for example. Home to multiple tournaments from many different games, Easter Sunday was no different as it prepared to take on one of the largest Tekken tournaments it had ever seen, with Tekken TO Helst at the helm.
So I originally played Tekken 4 back when I was living in Syracuse with my parents, and I rented it from a Blockbuster. And I got good enough that I could beat all my friends, so they stopped playing with me. And because Syracuse is small, that you really don't have a large community like you would in New York. So I ended up dropping it. I moved to Halo 2, because all my friends were playing that instead. And then I ended up going to Counter-Strike, which I was in about 3 different teams for that. I toured a bunch in the Northeast for it. And eventually I just got burnt out. Doing majors for Counter-Strike is exhausting. It's just a lot of travel and keyboards and config files, and it's not fun. One day a friend was like, hey, Tekken 7's on PC. And I'm like, huh, I wonder how much of that I remember. And it turns out not a lot of my Tekken 4 knowledge applied at all. So I just basically had to, it was like riding a bike for the first time again. I had to relearn everything.
It's one thing to pick up and devote yourself to your favorite game. It's another to also want to run and manage events for others. So what would make someone like Helst take the plunge?
Well, one, I knew the game. I was familiar, after watching events and playing it a whole lot, I was familiar enough with it. I'm like, all right, I know roughly what the generally accepted rule sets are. I know what people expect at this point. And then I was living here in Brooklyn at the time, and I was like, I wanted to play offline. I mean, online's fun and all, but it's not really the same thing. And I mean, figured there's got to be enough people here to play some offline games. And so I came to one of the Friday night offline sessions here, and there was one other Tekken player. That was it. And I got to the point where we talked to each other, I'm like, do you want to just play at my place then? I mean, instead of coming all the way over here. And I realized that there were players, but none of them really got together to play. And I got to the point where I realized NLBC wasn't running Tekken. Nobody was running Tekken. So I basically just asked the community, I'm like, what works best for you guys, not me? Like, do you want weekends? Do you want bi-weekly? Do you want monthly? Do you want bi-monthly? You know, what works best? Here's a list of weekends this month. What weekend works best for you guys? Because everyone's got life, work schedules, and there's a lot of older players in the scene, because it's very much a legacy game, with jobs and kids and school. So finding a consistent time to meet up is tough. And I honestly just started throwing these little 15-man, 20-man brackets, like, just come through and play. I had no idea what I was doing. I had zero idea. The first monthly, I random seeded it, and it was not a great idea. Fortunately, it was only a 15-man bracket, so the damage was minimal. All I did was make a banner and ask. As people came in, I would get in, like, contact information, Twitter handles, stuff like that. I now have a distribution list of Twitter handles, so when I post up for the new monthly, I just copy-paste them all in the bottom, like, hey, everybody who's previously come to one, here, take a look. This is the next one. If you can make it, great. If you can't, spread the word. So it started at 15 people. That was the first one. It jumped to 30 after that. And then it usually floated around 25 and 30 most of the time. iFix was a much smaller venue, and we only had about 5 setups. So we couldn't really accommodate something like this with 100 people. It wasn't never going to work.
With Helst building positive momentum with his Tekken monthlies, it seemed like the beginning of another solid local for the New York area, until suddenly, iFix closed.
I found out through the grapevine. I didn't, because Chris was like, he basically was 2 days off. He's like, yeah, we got to close. Through previous talking to him, I knew that it was a slow bleed, and he probably could have dragged it for like another 6 or 7 months, but it was only going to get worse. I mean, to run an arcade in this day and age is so difficult, especially a dedicated arcade, just because it's not the 80s anymore. People don't pump in their quarters like they used to. Yeah, it bummed me out because I'd already made a banner and announced the next one. I commissioned it. I still had the file sitting on my computer. It was a Gigas with a Santa hat because it was in December. So it was supposed to be a Christmas one, and unfortunately, that was that. And then it was a lot of people were like, "Well, where are we gonna go now? Like we just lost our home. Like, I don't know." And I just kind of had to sit and think about it for a little bit.
Did you ever feel like stopping there?
I did. I considered it, but we already had like 5 or 6 signups by the time that happened, and so. Really what said that there's still interest is people were asking about it. They're like, when's the next one? I know the December one canceled. Are you doing one in January? I'm like, I didn't like having to say, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you right now.
With iFix closed, Helst had to move quickly to find a new home. Luckily, he didn't have to search for long, as around the corner was a tried and tested venue, Next Level.
It's got pros and cons. The nice thing, bigger space, people know Next Level. I can fit 100 people now in a place like this, a little more reasonable because iFix could maybe tap out at 40. Downside is Chris had the setups already with all the DLC, so all I did was bring mine for an extra one. But the community stepped up and I said, listen, Next Level only has so many Tekken setups. We need people to bring them. Originally, Henry was like, okay, you get half off your venue fee if you bring it. And then I went up and said, give them the half off, I'll pay the venue fee if they bring a setup. And actually today, I think we're gonna have more PS4s than we have monitors, which is a good situation to be in, as opposed to not having enough. Getting setups is one of the biggest tricky problems, which is why I do the pay for the venue, because it's cheaper to pay the $50 in venue for a bunch of setups than it is to like the $1,000 to buy PS4s and DLC and copies of the game 10 times over. It's mostly just logistics, plus travel. Subways on the weekends in particular are terrible. Getting people from Jersey who want to come over, because convincing them, hey, yeah, come over the river, pay the toll or take the path, convincing them, or come down from upstate, take the Amtrak or the Metro North End. The mass transit's nice, but it's also convincing them to get on that mass transit to come down. And it also hurts we're on a Sunday, because Next Level's packed with events, and the only consistent day of the week we can get is Sunday, which is a day they're not normally open, which is why we got it in the first place.
With a new home, the Tekken monthlies continued with steady attendance, but the monthly we decided to meet Helst at was particularly special. Recently, Bandai Namco announced their Tekken Tour details for 2019, including a new category called Dojo Events. This category allows any tournament, including locals like Helst, to sign up and allow their players to earn points for the World Tour. With Helst's monthly being one of the first tournaments to take part in the system, it was no surprise that there was a sudden surge of entrants.
I know the numbers by heart. First monthly we had 73, second monthly we had 64, third monthly we had 56. This one, or as of right now, we have about 133 entrants last time I checked. I know that's gonna go down, but I'm estimating we're gonna be around 100, maybe a little over. A year ago, I was running a 25-man bracket at iFix, and now I'm running basically a 100-man regional. I don't know how this slippery slope got to that point. Logistically, I was kind of freaking out, like, how do I handle this? And then after talking to people, I kind of said, I'm gonna do it exactly as I've always been doing it. No changes, no major changes anyway. Obviously with more people, I have to be a little stricter on the start times, because with more people, we have to get through these games. Nobody wants to be here at 1 in the morning trying to get through top 8. The community's really stepped up a little bit to help me out. Like the guys at East Coast Throwdown have given me a bunch of shirts to give away today. Spooky's been, since day one, he's been helping me run, either run the stream or promote the stuff. Art's been doing the same thing for me when we were at iFix. Every monthly I run, regardless of size, I am always panicking at all times. But I'm also a planner, so I'm really good at being like, okay, I know what I have to do. I'm freaking out, but I know what I have to do. Stick to the mission and just do that. This one was a little more so. As I watched the numbers go up and up, I'm like, all right, but I've had a lot of people reach out to me to be like, what do you need? How can I help? I'll bring a system. I'll run brackets. I'll get scores for you. What do you need? And that takes a huge burden off my shoulders, and it really helps a lot. It makes the world of difference. Now that I've had a lot of people step in to help, to offer, bring a system, to run a bracket, to make sure scores are getting done, keep people rotating, it is a weight off my shoulders. The final player count we have for today is 115 people, which means the prize pool without Metrino is $1,105, I believe? I could be wrong about that. First place walks away with over $500 and 50% of the Metrino.
The tournament would be a success, bringing in over 100 players hungry for Tekken World Tour points and bringing attention to Helst's monthlies. But attention isn't necessarily what Helst is after. He has much simpler goals.
I have always said from the very first monthly, I have always done this for the same reason, and I've told many, many people this. I will continue running these for as long as people want them to. If people stop coming, well, then there's no need for it. The demand isn't there. If people want to keep playing, then I will keep running them. That's it. It's as simple as that. I did this originally for a very selfish reason, and that I wanted somewhere to play. And I don't get to play these, but I've met enough people that I host regular sessions now. I can get online and be like, yeah, anyone want to play a few games? And I have a range of people for a range of skills that will play with me. And so originally it was a very selfish reason, but people seem to like it, so I'm basically sticking to, if you want them, I'll keep doing them. That's it.
Thanks for watching our story on Helst in the New York Tekken scene. Our documentaries are fully funded by our patrons, so if you liked what you watched, share with your friends. And if you really liked it, consider becoming a patron today. And remember, support your locals.